Hey people, y'all ever been to a vegan barbecue? It ain't natural. You know, some of it's pretty good, but if your food is a bean, it should look like a bean. You shouldn't try to have to disguise it into looking like a hot dog or a burger. And so people have got this word vegan screwed up. You know, if you Google vegan origin, they're going to say it's a person who does not eat any food derived from animals or who typically does not use other animal products. And they're going to tell you this word is an English origin from vegetarian in the 1940s. And this is all a total lie. That's not even what vegan means. The word actually comes from Genesis 2, and it's right here in this story of the forbidden fruit. Starts at 2:15. And the word's right here, vegan, and it means in the garden. So if you ever plant a garden, you've surely seen these creatures growing in your garden. You know, vegan does not mean vegetable. It means in the garden. And it's right here. Freely you may eat of it. A call to cull. A call to cull. So I'm going to come back and read these 3 lines here. The forbidden fruit it's in. But I want to show you how I got here. I was researching this word here, commanded. You know, the last language movie I did, I read this top of this Exodus 39, where it's talking about the women tackle it wear game, and what will at the shine a shoe, in gaudy dress riddles writ, in codes how is to yardage in gaudy, the code source, all discern, the chaser zoo you to the smash. And so this is what caused me to investigate this word here, the chaser. This Ka with the dot in it, they say this is a sharp K, and without the dot is a CH. But I'm pretty sure they got this backwards, and the P, where it's a sharp P or a F, they got that backwards. And so I'm reading this, the chaser, CHASHR, the chaser, and zoo, XUE. And so this line comes up all the way through this. It finishes all these poems, the chaser zoo you to the smash. Here again, the chaser zoo you to the smash. Every one of these paragraphs ends with this. It might even be hidden off in the middle there, but I know it's at the end of all these. And I like when they do that. It helps me figure out what some of these words has been twisted are. And then the last one is different, and it's most of the Bible's like that. It starts with a riddle, and it gives you a better clue to the riddle at the end. But you see how the last one here, now it's the chaser, zoo, you, canus, who verkum to most. This one reads a little different because it's missing the tack here. You don't see it here, but you'll see it in the other Bible. And so I was reading down this paragraph, around in 22 over here, you know, additional priestly garments. This is the one talking about the ephod and how the priests dress. But that's the clue there, the chase her, zoo you to the smash. Backwards and forwards after this tack, the SMSHE, the smash. And so down here at 22, I ran into this where it talks about the 666, and they disguised it. I think down here at in this paragraph at 27, and they made tunics, shush, woven artistically for Aaron, will loving to. And then a turban, shush, what Perry imagine at shush. What his income can see the bed shush. And they say, here they give this linen over here because they say this is linen when it comes up. And they give this the linen everywhere else here, a fine linen. But this is the same exact word they say is 6. You see here the 2 dots under the first one, and the dot here on the right side, and on this one on the right side. That means it's pronounced S-H, E-S-H, shesh. Same here, the 2 dots on the right side on the top, and the 2 dots here underneath. And this other little mark, they'll change it a little bit every time, but it's the shesh. And then the third time, the shesh. You see the 2 dots, and the 2 dots under here with this little slash. But if we look up the word 6, it's the exact same as this. They'll say this is linen 19 times, but we'll come down here and 84 times. This is the same word. See how the pronunciation is here? Shesh. The same thing here, shesh. You see this is the exact same spelling here. The shesh. The 2 dots in the hash. The 6. It looks like they're trying to disguise this 666 in this line 28 into turban 6 and exquisite hats 6 and short trousers of linen 6, fine woven. Fine woven is from scissor to cut it. And so when I was trying to get a better idea of this, that's when I noticed that they've got this chaser Zulu to the smash at the end of every line. So this word they say is Moses, just the M-S-E. That's not Moses. And don't let that confuse you. If you find an old Bible with these headings on there, they'll tell you this is SPR, the book of Moses, M-O-S-E, in receipt, in the beginning. Book of Moses. They're spelling Moses plainly, M-O-S-E. And you'll see that in 22, the M-O-S-E, and now they tell you it's of work 95 times, and the deed, work, a thing done, act. And they'll put this in the same category as a bunch of words. But we'll see all through here this word work is given all kind of different words. You see here, to work is the loose what. And you can see here in the workmanship is the komos workmanship, to give most to. And here in line 8, the most is now woven. The komos, the workmanship, to give workmanship. And so the word Moses comes from motion, is what that means. And when it starts talking about these stones that they set in the breastplate, it's talking about your overture, the first 4 rows, your overture, where the band sits in front of the play. Check all the meanings of all these stones, and they'll say that it has many other meanings, and they really don't know any of them. They don't know if any. You see, this is the same word they say is Adam, which sometimes means red, which sometimes means the man, sometimes means Adam, and they'll give it several other meanings. But all these stones, all they know is they think it is. They don't know. Perhaps an emerald, turquoise, ruby, or carbuncle, a sapphire, or lapis lazuli. And this proves my case. This P with the dot in it, without the dot it's a P, and with the dot it's a F. Sapphires, right here, plain as day. They'll say with the dot and it makes it a sharp P, but they totally got this turned backwards to try to confuse people. And a diamond is gels, yells, and yells. And all they know is the precious stone, perhaps the jasper, onyx, or diamond. They don't know. They're making all this up. A precious stone in a high priest breastplate, probably or ligure. They don't know. An agate, probably an agate. They have no idea. Amethyst, purple stone, perhaps corundum or red-brown jasper. They had jasper up here already. Atrestus, perhaps chrysolite, yellow jasper, or other yellow-colored stone. Probably onyx. Chrysoprase, beryl, malachite. Here they got jasper again. They don't have a clue what any of these words mean. But this is the base for this work. You see this OS, and it means to see, consume. It doesn't mean made. It means to use, to see, consume. You can see the mos here again. Moses, M-O-S-C, is now like chords. In 22, now it's of work. The Moses. Here it is again. Mos is now woven. And then 29, Moses, now the work. And then down at line 32, when Moses approves the work, thus was finished all the work is now ovided. But this is all talking about chasing women. And you can see it here, the hails, the madam is, what, and then backwards, forwards, this come kiss, dyed red, the madam is. She got them dark red lips. What, es, this km, this come kse, this come kiss. And down here in line 40, you see this ovided is now the service, where it was work above. The ovided here was the work, ovided service. And you figure all the different words, they could at least pick the same word to mean the same thing. And here again in 42, the ovid is the work. And then in 43, the work is now them lack. This is the same word. Sometimes they say it's messenger. Sometimes they say it's an angel. Them lack. So after studying this chapter, I discerned that this chaser, zoo means to study. And this is XUE. And it's the same spelling of Laos Zhu, the writer of The Art of War, the Chinese writer, Zhu, XUE. The X is the Tazadi, TZUE. And it means studious. Zhu is to study learning, to learn, to mimic a subject of study, a branch of learning. So it gives a better definition to Laos Zhu. Like I say, all the ancient books, they mix the title up with the author. But Laos Zhu wasn't the writer of the book. Laos Zhu meant the people to study. And that's what the Art of War is about. It's the study of people. If you're a salesman, you read The Art of War and you learn to study the people. And that's how you sell them something they don't need. And this ephod, it'll be spelled several different ways. And you see it here with the tack in front of it. And it's DAPA. The DAPS, D-A-D-P, and then A-E is E-S, the DAPS. The DAPS sapped. You see it spelled here, without the E in front of it, A-P-D-T-U, without a tack here. So it's just read backwards. It's what DAP. And then it starts with the A too, so it reads backwards, R-S. What dappers. And this is this word here, neat and trim in appearance, looked very dapper. And that's what it's talking about. It's talking about chasing women and getting dressed up and looking dapper. And I'm going to get back to this chapter and read some and show you some stuff here. But this is the Poemines. The Poemines intook harmonies. And they'll get this all mixed up. They'll give this the pomegranates. And several other words, here again. But here it is, the palm, the P-O-M-N. I believe that final N means M-M, the palm. And the vermin, they're saying is the pomegranate here, vermin, wormin. But you know, a poem is an apple or a pear, fleshy fruit. And a vermin, you know, that's anything that's eaten in your garden, an animal or a worm, a parasitic worm is vermin. And you know, so a poem, granite, you know, this is an apple and granular. You know, this is the poem. This is the apple with a worm in, a vermin, a wormin. The bad apple. The poem in vermin. Poem in vermin. But yeah, like the rest of the Bible, they got every word in here turned around backwards. But I'm going to get back to this. I want to go back and read that I showed you I was going to read here in the forbidden fruit. And I often say this is wife, W-I-F-H, wife. I may be mistaken. I'm having it figured out here shortly, though. I'm starting to figure out all these dots. But this is the Q, so sometimes it's pronounced the F, P-H, and sometimes it's pronounced as a K. And so this might be pronounced, you know, Y-Co, you know, K-H, you know, no is just N-H, no, Y-Co, as in a co-op, as in together. Or maybe wife, you know, but it's how the center divide. You know, Q is center, H divide. But the wife you, or who co you, you know, co, to works with you. The wife you. From backwards, from yellow, from the sun. From the yellow to, and then backwards, forwards, MDA, made heads, H-E-A-D-S. From the sun to made heads. Why know who? You know, how know who know who? Vegan, in gin, you know, vegan. Who know who? Vegan. And then backwards and forwards, need, N-D, need Odin. Not the Garden of Eden, but the Garden of Odin. The vegan need Odin loved. Odin loved. And then the E pronounced with the U. Who of, L of, who of summer. Loved, Odin loved who of summer. The wife you from yellow to, you know, to match up to the sun, to the yellow, to made heads, you know, to make the four heads. You know, the head of the man and the head of the lion and the head of the eagle. Who know who? In gin, you know, that the gin is a tool that turns. In gin, need Odin loved who of summer. And this is what sent me here, this zoo. This is one of the first times a zoo comes up. You know, how or why zoo? Why study? So XUE is the study of life. E is life. You know, the side to life. And this is just to study the side to you. How side to you from yellow, all made heads. You know, the heads are the seasons, the four seasons. All made heads. And so this AMR, you know, they always say this is word, has to do with word, you know, and it's of the knowledge from first. The knowledge from first is the seasons, is the turning of the heavens that give you the word. In the beginning was the word from yellow, you know, where the sun is sitting in the sky, you know, the sky gives you the words. All made heads of the word from clocks, and then backwards and forwards to nig the gin. And so nig is the turning of the gin, the one who's nigging the gin. He's the one cranking the handle. He's nig the cycle, and the cycle, then the G is to carry. Nig the gin, to cycle, to carry the gin. And then look, and then to call, you know, backwards and forwards here, the look to call. And from ox, you know, they say this is oaks, you know, the trees, and from see the cross, and from ox. You know, the same word they say is the tree, that I'll say is the cross in the Greek. And sometimes it's the word for the upright, and sometimes it's the word for the one crossing. And from ox to see cross, the dot, the D-O-T. You know, if you know where the dot is, and from see cross the dot, then you have the knowledge of thub. And thub is center, thuv. You know, Thuven was the North Star when this book was written. Thuven is the asshole of the serpent, the big serpent up in the north. Right on his ass would be a star called Thuven, you know. And from see cross the dot, thuv, the North Star. W-R-O, where see, you know, to first see. The first knowledge is evil knowledge of Thuven, the North Star. You have to know where you are before you know which way you're going. Where, W-R. Where, and to know where you are, you look for the North Star. It never moves. It's always on that same spot. Thuven, where see, and then let to call. Let to call from menu. To give, K-I, to give. Chi, you know, the K with the dot, it's pronounced C-H. The chi, the key. To give the work by us, B-Y-U-S. To give the work by us, and then starts with A, so it reads backwards. Clock, K-L-K, the clock. From menu, M-M-N-U, from menu. From menu. From what? Time what? From the clock, from menu, from what? Time what? And so Adam naming the animals, he's naming the sky. And so he's naming the animals, you know, in the yammer, and said, you from yell, and said, you from yell. Lo, you know, lo, beware. And then backwards, forwards, in with of, N-W-T-H-U-V. You know, B is in with of. Beware, in with of, they what? They what? The ads, you know, the heads, or the ads. You know, the ads is all the pictures going across your TV. All the ads over there in the corner of your Facebook and your YouTube, you know. The ads. And with of, they what? The ads loved, L-V-D to, loved to. You know, the ones that were loved to. And then backwards. They, the sow, you know, this sow I will make, no, I will plant, S-O-A, S-O-E, this sow, to loser, to, you know, backwards, forwards, Vav, to L-U-O-Z-R, to loser, change, you know, the K with the dot is C-H, C-H-N-G-D-U, change to, the loser, change to. You know, it's dropping back. Beware, lo, beware, and with of they what the ads love to. You know, the ones that you love to see come up every day. You know, this so to loser. You know, they're losing. They're dropping back. The loser change to. So somebody sent me a link to this movie the other day, and I'm not going to say who it was. Gary. And it's an hour long. And I watched some of his stuff a long time ago when I first started investigating this. And I don't even know why you said this to me, Gary. Because this guy don't have a clue. If you want to learn how to force this Hebrew language on what they teaching in the King James, you know, this might be the place for you. But he comes right out here and says, I don't understand the language, I just teach it. That's got to be the stupidest words I've ever heard come out of a teacher. I don't understand it, I just teach it.
Hey, shalom, shalom from your Dutch Uncle John, here to tell you what it is in the first word of the Bible. Now, I've told you many times, I am not a fluent Hebrew speaker. I don't understand it. I can't read it. I only teach it.
So you can catch the John Caustic show over here. I didn't watch this. I shot through a little bit of it. I sped through a little bit of it, trying to figure out what Gary was pointing out, but I have no clue. And in this last movie I posted, I put it in the folder with my how-tos. I hit a little bit on the steel building, but it's got half of it some good information you need to see. And I'll talk a minute in there, and then I'll tell you you could shift back to about 5 minutes if this is boring you, and get some good information out of it about how the brain works. And if you don't follow me on Facebook, you can catch me on Facebook, and I put things up on there. I put movies up on there that YouTube has taken down and hit my channel for, but I got a lot of good information I put up on there that they won't let me put on YouTube. If they hit me on Facebook, they just cut me off for a day or 3 or so. And I'm not trying to make a living doing this. I'm just trying to wake the world up. It's going to hell real quick now. All our money's going to be worthless in the future soon. I'm not trying to save a bunch of money. I got plenty of work to get by on, because they're damn sure trying to turn this into a communist nation. They're trying to make the whole world communist. And I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem with the people they want to put at the top running things. But yeah, in that last movie on the steel erection, I hit this a little bit and I hit this a little bit, and it shows how the mind works and how you could totally, just by subjecting somebody to some false information, you can make them jump their sober ass in the shower fully closed to try to save their life.
Don't forget, I won't forget.
Alright, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.